Start right off with questions, Perry.
Hey Sean, obviously pretty big draft class. Not sure many expected you to make all 5 picks on Wednesday night, but what stuck out to you about these guys, and what excites you about them, as a class as a whole?
Yeah, thanks, Perry. Well, we've never had 3 tables up here, so that shows you the size of the draft class, right? First and foremost, I want to welcome all these guys, these young men, to Brooklyn, obviously to our Nets family, and also their families to Brooklyn as well. So it's a special opportunity for us all to, as we watch our Brooklyn family grow and grow like this. It's great. It was a unique opportunity for us, to be quite frank. We've never had 5 picks in one draft, and to be able to draft all of them in a draft class that we just saw, that was unique, and that was something that we want to take advantage of, especially in our build, where we see these young men fitting into our group and into our roster. So it was about us capitalizing on the hand we were dealt, what a lot of our scouting department and so forth did all year long, the work they put in, and we felt very confident about not only this class, but these men that we were able to put in front of you right now. So it's exciting for us.
Jordi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. Obviously having 5 first-round picks, I think that might be as many as you guys had actually taken in like 8 years.
My first time, yeah.
So it's a luxury, to be sure. But how do you go about, for the lack of a better term, playing and giving experience to and growing 5 young guys simultaneously, putting all your attention on 5 guys as opposed to 1 or 2 or even 3?
That's a good question. The way I see it is I'm going to focus on the team and what we're trying to build as a group. And these young men are part of our family now, and they're going to have to earn it. And I think that's how it should be. They'll put the work in. They've already shown who they are. That's why we drafted them, and they're part of this amazing journey. And it's going to be my decision to go and put 5 guys on the court and to have most likely a 10-man rotation and go through the process. And I think that's definitely on me. Player development is going to be important. We've been very diligent. The coaching staff has done a great job making our guys work, and those guys have improved, and we believe they'll do the same thing. So it's an exciting part of our journey right now to welcome these guys and put them to work.
Hey everybody, Lucas Kaplan, Nets Daily. This one's for Sean. Obviously, some statistical similarities in a lot of the draft picks, high assist numbers, a lot of ball handling responsibilities, things like that. Did you sense sort of a shift in your evaluation as just a baseline when evaluating this class, or did it just happen to be that, the best player available ended up with, ball handling duties, high assist numbers, or somewhere in between?
Yeah, I think we look at a little bit of all of that, right? It's obviously best available, that factors in, but also, the scouting work that we've done on these guys throughout this, not just this year, but, leading up to this year, would lead us to believe it's a versatile class, right? They can play multiple positions, as Jordi just mentioned, multiple ball handlers. I think to be able to come in here and limit guys and say you can only fit into this category or this position, you've heard all the cliches, positional responsible and so forth, but you want high IQ guys, that's what we've got here. You want versatile guys, that's what we've got here. So again, it gets back to an exciting group out there and not limiting them on how they can play. we saw attributes throughout the year of how each one of these played individually, and now, as Jordi almost even mentioned before about the coaching staff, our development staff's proven that they've done a great job, and I think that gives me utmost confidence in developing these 5 guys. And if I don't think we had that confidence in our staff, we probably wouldn't have done it. But the sky's the limit for all of them.
Brian.
Hi all, Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. You guys are from so many different places, played in so many different spots. I wonder if any of you known each other previously, have played with each other, or anything like that, or you're all sort of meeting each other for the first time here?
I can start. Well, me and Nolan, we actually played against each other on the NGT tournament back when he was in France and I was in Spain. Yeah, one of the last tournaments before me going to BYU and him moving to professionals.
What do you know about his game? Is it?
We were really aware of him on the scouting report. The game before the final game, he dropped like 45, if I'm not wrong, and against Barca, which we were happy to see that. But it was really scary for us to, get to this game knowing who he is.
Yeah, I played against Egor, like you said, and against Ben Saraf in a multiple European championship during the summer. So yeah, I just know these two guys.
Danny Wolf and I, at the end, we've been competing with each other during the pre-draft process. We're both with CAA, working out over there, and Proactive with Don McLean. So yeah, I'm familiar with his game, very skilled.
Yeah, as Nolan said, we played against each other one game, and me and Danny, we had I think 2 practices in the Israeli national team under 20. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben and I almost played on the same team together, 2 summers ago. And then DP and I worked together, Drake and I were together in LA for the better part of 2 months now. So.
Jordi, kind of similar question, the one that Sean just had. These guys obviously share a lot of high basketball IQ, love to share the ball. How do you think that plus the positional versatility and size that they have kind of fit in the way that you want your team to play?
Yeah, I mean, on both sides of the floor, I'm starting with defense. Positional size is very important, right? And you guys can see here, with your eye test, I would play these guys almost, 1 through 4, 1 through 5. So that's a good thing for us. You'll see length, athleticism, and we'll keep working on that physicality, communication. That's one of the things, the multiple effort. Those are the things that we have to be on the same page, and that's my job as a head coach. And then offensively, we want to play with pace, right? So in my opinion, we have the fastest guy in the draft. We have a lot of playmaking here. All these guys can really pass the ball. All those paint touches and ball reversals, it just helps you when you have not primarily ball handlers, but also secondary ball handlers, and all these guys can do it. So it's all a positive. There's no negatives here, and I'm very excited. And as I told them already today, is if your teammate touches the paint and creates a 3 for you, you have to let it fly. Otherwise, you're gonna come sit with me. So they already know what we're trying to do. It's been a good couple of days here, and this preparation for Summer League is exciting.
Hi all, Yoav from Sport 5 Israel. Welcome to Brooklyn. First of all, guys, a question for Jordi. Since you're very close with Coach David Blatt, I'd like to hear what he told you about Ben, maybe about Danny, and if it helped you in your evaluation about them towards the draft.
Yeah, because I think words of wisdom are always important. And as you know, I have a lot of respect for Coach Blatt as a person, as a coach. And when we do our due diligence, we want to, you want to watch the players yourself, but also you need to know, all the things that you didn't know, and everything was very positive coming from Coach Blatt. He really liked these 2 guys, and he knew them pretty well. So he really helped us, and finally we were lucky enough to get them both here.
Hi everybody, Brian Fullerton from Nets Daily and Nets Republic. This one's for Sean. Since you've been the GM, the relationship with Long Island has been really strong, and the development has really sort of been hand in glove. How do you see Long Island playing a big role as far as helping to build on the new talent coming in?
Yeah, I mean, Long Island they are, exactly the same as Brooklyn Nets, right? Maybe a different infrastructure and a little bit further away, but we want to make sure that whenever our players from Brooklyn spend time in Long Island, there's nothing amiss, right? So it's clear communication between the two groups. Matt McDonald, our GM there, has done a heck of a job in helping to develop them. Mufon, our head coach down there, the same thing. And I think the proof's in the pudding when we look back and see some of our guys over the last few years who have developed and spent a lot of time in Long Island, and then all of a sudden come up to Brooklyn, and next they're starting for us or playing meaningful minutes in Brooklyn. You can see that there's a development track and development path there. So I assume some of these guys will definitely spend some time in Long Island, and you know, we'll have to see how the season sort of plays out and what minutes are there for everybody. But at the same time, as Jordi mentioned, it's an environment of competitive nature out here. So that's what we want to see. These guys go compete. There's no promises given to anybody, let alone the draft picks or the guys we currently have under the roster. Go compete and may the best man win.
This question is for Sean. This is Mark Malusis from WPIX. Sean, how important is the relationship between GM and coach in terms of the system that Jordi wants to play when you're going into draft night? And then what are the expectations for the Nets in the upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, the relationship is vital. I mean, it's a clear partnership between not only Jordi and myself, but with the front office and Jordi's entire coaching staff. I mean, we both need to feel very strong that whoever we draft that night or whoever we bring into our program, whether it's through free agency or trade, can fit. And why do they fit? And how do they fit within not only Jordi's system, but do we see an upside? Do we see a versatile player that we can help develop? And we're trying to predict 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line. What are they going to look like there? I think throughout the entire draft process, having the coaches involved in this is maybe somewhat unique, but we really value their opinion. That's why they're available and they're included in all of their draft workouts that they participated in with the Nets. And we ask their opinions, and we get in the room and we fight it out and battle. And I want to hear from them. They're the ones up and close, and they're feeling these guys on the court. So I think it's really important, and I love to see that buy-in. And I think, to be quite frank, that's where player development starts. When the coaching staff is excited about guys you draft. You guys saw the room on draft night. Guys were excited about it. I mean, we're thrilled to have these guys, and I think that's a little bit of that just shows the emotion that's gone into a year of work, not only from the scouting department, but from the process that the coaches have been through in the last couple of months. Expectations for this year are the same as always. Go out and compete. We don't put a limit on. Don't do this, and hopefully you don't win these amount of games or anything like that. That's never crossed our lips here. It is go compete and do the borough proud. And I think that's what this group has done. That's certainly what Jordi has done. And when your leader voices that in timeouts and voices that in the locker room, that speaks volumes. And that's why people want to play for him, and that's why people are excited to have their players here and working with this coach and this coaching staff.
You guys, Lucas Kaplan, that's Daily again. For Egor, I just want to first ask, how would you like us to pronounce, your full name?
It's Egor Demin.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And second of all, I just want to ask what you think about today's NBA is perhaps suited for your game, especially playing, a pro-style offense at BYU. What do you think you can contribute on an NBA court?
Well, I think I'm just a good fit. This team is a good fit for me, and I'm a good fit for this team. Obviously, because it's a lot of athleticism, young guys, and I believe we could be a really high pace and high volume team, right? Just being able to run coast to coast. And for me, how efficient can I find those defensive rebounds and just find the outlet as fast as I can? Find somebody in front of me who can finish on the rim or find the corners, right? Since we're gonna learn a lot of spacing, it's gonna be a lot of screens and all that. And I believe we can really find good offensive and defensive variety in case of the players on the court. As Coach said and Sean, we can really play 1 through 5, everybody, right? There's going to be rotations where we just switch everything on. Well, it's not my decision anymore, right? But,
You can now.
but what I'm trying to say is I believe there's a lot of options I can bring to this team, and I can do whatever Coach needs me to do.
Hi, Vincent Piala for the French media Le Parisien. Question for Sean and Jordi. What did you see on Nolan that convinced you to select him? What do you expect from him this year? And Nolan, maybe if you can tell the first days of you in Brooklyn.
Why don't we hear from the young fellow first?
Okay. Yeah, my first days in Brooklyn were really good. We started to work since the first day. we're just excited about the journey we can do, and excited about the team we can have. A lot of young guys, a lot of pace, like Igor said. And yeah, I think and that's a great city too, so it's good to be here. So yeah, really happy to be part of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, to answer your question as well, really enjoyed going over there and watching him play live. I think it's one thing to watch on film and so forth, but you know, live and in person, you get to see his athletic ability, you get to see the speed, the first step, you know, breaking down defense and so forth. And I think those are some things that you can't necessarily teach. You either have that innate ability or you don't, and he has that, and that was really exciting for us. One thing I do, I love the draft process. I love getting to meet these young men and all the other people in the draft themselves and get a feel for how they fit. You know, how are they going to fit with us? How are they going to fit with each other? How are they going to fit with our coaching staff? How are they going to fit in Brooklyn? And that was something that really stood out, not only about Nolan, but the whole group here. And to get to know Nolan a little bit better, you saw the personality. You know, on the court, he does seem to be on the quieter side. I loved seeing the older players on his team, you know, in France really navigate to him, and he could draw them in, and he was a quiet leader out there. And I think those are some characteristics that were really important for us to see. He had the respect for his team, and for a young man to have that at this age is quite unique. So one, to get to meet him, you know, in a little bit of a more casual setting was fantastic, and you got to see a real personality. You got to see how he would fit here with the group and in the locker room. And then I think something that stood out was certainly how he garnered the respect from his teammates in Europe.
Hi, Chris Carino, Nets Radio. Danny, your journey is interesting. Guys with your size and skill set don't end up in the Ivy League a lot. How was your process of going to Yale? How did you grow to allow you to flourish at Michigan? And what are you confident in terms of how your skills now can translate to the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, my basketball journey's been definitely up and down, and it's took definitely a few different steps to get to where I am today. And just going to Yale, they gave me an opportunity, and I took that and ran with it, and didn't play much my freshman year there, and just kind of used that as an opportunity to work and develop my game and just grow in the areas that I needed to. And then that kind of led to I had a great summer playing for that Israeli team in the under-20 tournament, which kind of gave me some momentum, and then had a pretty good sophomore year. And after the year, just decided that it was in my best interest to kind of challenge myself and prove myself against the best in the country on a nightly basis. So I went to Michigan, and we had a great year there. And then now I was in position to get to the NBA, so we decided that it was the best time to do it. And the Nets took a chance on me again. And in terms of my skill set, I think it's still developing. I think just the jump I made from Yale to Michigan, and now obviously the NBA is a different animal, and you're gonna have to keep working on a lot of different things. But I think there's just a lot of different things I can do on a basketball court, and just whatever Coach Jordi and the staff want me to do, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability while still working and developing to kind of become that player.
Sean, kind of building on your last answer about just sort of the process of identifying this class of guys, you know, I imagine, you know, if you wanted to go see someone from North Carolina or Michigan, you could decide that at breakfast and get on a plane and go, but this is not very easy to do, I would imagine. How far out do you identify these guys, and where you can see them and when, and just how you know where you're seeing them, they have the game to translate to the NBA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I got to give a lot of credit to not only BJ Johnson, but the entire amateur scouting department. They've done a heck of a job this year and years in the past, you know, being able to identify talent in all walks of life all over the world, right? And basically they tell me where to go, and that's where I go, and I go and see them. And I think it's really important to lay eyes on these guys. I enjoy that part of the process. I personally enjoy to seeing them, and I think our entire group has done a nice job, you know, again, identifying these young men and how they would fit with what we're trying to build here in Brooklyn, and also seeing okay, where can they be, right? Where can, take Noah Clowney, for instance, right? You take him from the college ranks here, and okay, where does he end up? And I think that's a credit to the amateur scouting department. Then it's also a credit to our development coaches, not only in Long Island, but here, to see a guy like that. And we would expect nothing less from the rest of this group. Where they are, you'll see a quick rise in their games as they get. There is a learning curve for sure. There's no question that you're looking at 4 19-year-olds up here. So I have 2 boys myself, older than them. So I mean, it just puts it in perspective, like just how young this group is. And to me, that's exciting when you see what the continuity we can have with this group and how they can build and how they can flourish over the next 3, 4, 5 years is going to be exciting.
Eric Slater, Clutch Points. Welcome to Brooklyn, all you guys. This one's for Jordi. Sean referenced before how excited you guys looked, after making each of these selections. You looked particularly excited after you guys made the Egor pick. Just throughout the scouting process in the last year, you guys getting to look at him, getting to know him. Just what excited you about his skill set, what he did on the court, and how he could fit into your philosophy and your vision.
Yeah, going back to the positional size and his playmaking, obviously it's very important that we help each other and we give each other the best shot possible, and we believe that he can do it, playing pick and roll or simply making the right play. That's who he is, and if you watch him play and you get to know him, you can see that right away. His ability to shoot the ball, he's going to shoot the ball very well in this league. That is another thing that excites us, but also his work ethic. We know he's going to show up. He's going to work every day. That's something that caught our eye because, as you know, it's not just watching them play real games, but we know a lot about these guys, right? Like that's what you do through the process. Like Sean said, the coaches who were part of the process was amazing. I'm not going to tell you what the process was because that's our secret, but the group did an amazing job, and us being involved in it was very unique for me, for my experience, and selecting him. Another thing that I believe he's going to help us is with our full court pace, his ability to throw the ball ahead. That's also going to help the team. So we were pretty fast in the half court and slow in the full court, and I think playing with him, he's going to help us be faster in the full court. So all that will help the team. Like you said, the team will help him, he will help the team. So that's a good partnership.
CJ Holmes, New York Daily News. Welcome to Brooklyn, guys. This one's for Drake. The man at this end of the table does not play about defense, and you won UNC's Defensive Player of the Year award as a freshman. So, in your mind, how do you leverage your defensive prowess to make an immediate impact in the NBA?
Yeah, just to hit on that, I feel like my defense, that's mainly just pride. That's just something that I've had since, growing up at a young age, playing with my older brother, older cousin. That's just something that I always took pride in. I think that I can make an immediate impact to help this team be successful, and just do whatever I can to be to the best of my ability.
Bob Windrum from Nets Daily. A question for Egor. Andrei Kirilenko is the president of the Russian Basketball Federation. He played in Utah. He played here. Did you speak to him about what your career path is going to look like and what it was playing here in Brooklyn?
Yes, I talked to him through all of my career, if I can call it like that, but moving to Spain, he was a part of this decision at some point. Moving to BYU especially, obviously, because he lived in Utah, and for my parents it was important to hear what he think about this place. And obviously when I got picked by Brooklyn, he called me next day and we talked a little bit, he gave me some advices, and he just said that he's happy for me, that he's really happy that I'm in this organization.
Congratulations to all the players selected. I'm sure it's been a busy schedule for you. What's been the most exciting? What are you looking forward to this summer?
I think that everybody would say that everybody's waiting for Summer League and just to step on the court in the jersey and play basketball together.
Yeah, of course, Summer League is important. And also, the preseason with the team, after, getting to know everyone, and make sure to know, basketball-wise, everyone. And as me as a point guard, I would say that It's important to know these guys and know what they like and just start to build the team right away.
Yeah, just hitting off of what Egor and Nolan already said, just getting to know everyone so we can build that chemistry.
Yeah, for me, of course, getting to know everybody, getting to know the system, offensively and defensively. And of course, I'm really excited for the summer league and to start a journey.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything different I can say, but yeah, just getting to kind of build that relationship and camaraderie, not only with these 4 other guys, but the entirety of the team, the young guys, coaches, front office, and just kind of starting on the right foot and just getting ready and for summer league and then just gearing up for the season. I think everyone's pretty excited.
Hi, Nitzan Ivlev from Haaretz Israel. Sean, what can you please tell us about the selections of Ben and Danny and the journey they should have, the expectations?
Yeah, look, I think I really enjoyed watching Ben overseas. We went over to see him live a couple times, so it was great to watch how hard he competes. I think that was something that really stood out. Passing ability, pride on defense. I think he's playing at a high level over there, and for him to come back here and be a part of this group with those experiences, those worldly experiences, is key. I like the way he gets the hole, finishes around the basket, doesn't shy away from contact. So I think there was a lot of things that translate into our game. Danny, I think we've already sort of talked a little bit about the high IQ and a skill set that's very unique for a person of his size. So to see him out there and other teams continue trying to figure out, well, how do we stop him? Who do we guard him with? What system do we put around him? And that's a unique problem to have, right? And we're all in on that. Like, how do we use both of those young men to the best of their abilities and watch them grow and so forth? So.
For Ben, the Nets obviously liked you and had seen you several times playing over the course of the year. But I'm curious, A, when they had already taken 2 point guards, were you surprised at all when they drafted you, knowing that they had already taken 2 point guards ahead of you? And B, when you found out you were coming to New York, just how did you feel knowing you were coming to a city with such a huge Jewish population and having, for lack of a better term, an Israeli youth national team teammate?
Yeah, for the first question, as we said before, I think we all can play several positions. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I'm super excited to share the court with those guys. I think it's gonna be amazing. And for the second question, it was amazing. Got a lot of messages, getting a lot of love from the Jewish community here. And of course, it's the first time we are both Israelis and playing for the same team, so it's gonna be really exciting. And I appreciate all the love that I'm getting, like in the street and from the fans.
This one also for Ben. I think one thing Sean mentioned on draft night, you played a lot of games. I mean, for someone your age, right? And playing in Germany, as a professional, how do you think that that's going to prepare you here as you get to the highest level?
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun. I've played like pro for 3 years now, so played a lot of games so far. I think it's going to be helpful to know how to manage your body, to really stick to your routines, and really be able to and be willing to compete every night. So I think these are things that can translate right away for the NBA.
A question for Sean. There might be nights at the Barclays Center when we will hear more Hebrew than English. So I'd just like to hear from you, what does it mean for the community, the Israel community in New York, the Jewish community, to have these two guys and get this support out in the stands, which is going to be incredible, of course.
Yeah, to be honest, it's fantastic the way it just worked out. I mean, if you think about it, like the game of basketball is such a worldly game, played all over the globe. You've heard about how the rest of the world is sort of catching up to one of America's games. I won't comment on that. What I will say is there's talent everywhere, and that's our job, is to bring in the best talent regardless of race, ethnicity, and so forth. It's to bring in the best basketball players and welcome them into not only Brooklyn and our borough, but into our Nets family. And I think that's what you're going to see. But it's certainly going to be unique having both of them here, and we're excited about that. I know the borough's excited about that. I know the Jewish community here is very excited about it too, and you've got two incredible ambassadors for that here, so it's exciting.
This one is for Drake, right here in front. You've had a shifting sort of career in terms of Isaiah joined your AAU team, you get to UNC, your usage drops a lot. How have the changes in your role affected, your journey here, and how do you anticipate that playing into and perhaps helping your NBA career?
Yeah, I'd say it really just kind of switched my mentality a little bit. Like you said, my usage rate, it dropped a lot once I got to North Carolina. But I was still playing like heavy minutes and being able to help the team be successful. I really could have, just sulked and, just complained to the coaches, but, what does that get done? That was really the way I thought. And so I just accepted the role that I was given with open arms. And yeah, I just wanted to be able to play to the best of my ability to help the team be successful.
We'll take two more. Kurt.
This question's for Egor. Obviously, you're a guy who's handled the ball a lot. You played point guard, but have a lot of size. Could be viewed in different positions. Do you have a position that you view yourself playing, and how could you envision yourself fitting alongside some of the other guys, particularly Nolan?
I think, coming back to what Coach said and what I said before, I'm just blessed to be here, and I'm ready to be whatever they need me to be. That's gonna be a part of my development, is to learn how to play on the ball, off the ball, setting screens and being on the screen, whatever it is, right? And again, I'm just ready to try to execute whatever they ask me to do.
Hey guys, Jed Katz, Nets on Sports Illustrated. This one's for Drake. You obviously come from a storied program, North Carolina, Coach Hubert Davis, obviously been to the national championship. What did you learn from your time in North Carolina, and how do you think that what you learned there will translate to the NBA?
Yeah, just the preparation, everyday type preparation. I think that was something that I struggled with going in, but I had to continue to put trust in a lot of my vets. Seth Trimble, RJ Davis, Jalen Washington, guys like that. I just tried to, shadow them a little bit, see how they operated. And yeah, I'd say the preparation was the big piece.
Okay, thank you all for coming. We'll make our way to the court for a photo op. If any of the cameras or photographers want to head out there.